Aaron Rodgers and the entire situation that's going on with the Green Bay front office. Kyle, I got to ask you, um, you have seen the disgruntled franchise quarterback, and Tom Brady ended up leaving in free agency willingly. But I mean, but you've seen, Tom wasn't happy with the Patriots front office. Tom wanted more money. Tom wasn't happy with the team that was around him. So, I mean, you have somewhat of an understanding. First off, my first question is, does Aaron have a leg to stand on? Does he have a right to be this upset? And my second question is, do you think he's the starter week one?
It's a tricky one. Do I think he'll be the week one starter? Yes, I think he will be. I know things kind of look murky with that right now, but I think he'll end up being the week one starter. I don't have a lot of faith in it, but I'm going to say yes. Now, when it comes to the issues surrounding the Packers, I don't necessarily think that he has a leg to stand on with the issues that this team has been having. And look, you mentioned Brady. And the one thing that Brady was really good at was just assessing the team around him. Granted, he didn't have really an all-pro receiver like Aaron Rodgers has with Devontae Adams. Granted, Brady had Gronk to throw to, who's one of the best tight ends to ever play the game. But when it comes to
different, though.
When it comes to the weapons that Brady had compared to what Aaron Rodgers has, I would still tend to believe that I think Aaron Rodgers has a better cast of weapons and receivers around
100%.
him than Brady ever did with the Patriots. Despite that, though, Brady has 7 Super Bowls, but he had 6 with New England compared to 1 with Aaron Rodgers, and that was over a decade ago. So when I look at the situation with Aaron Rodgers, I've mentioned this before, but at some point, you have to acknowledge that when you look at the cap that Aaron Rodgers is eating up on this team, it is going to have an effect on the entire roster. When you look at this defense, specifically when it comes to the Packers, it has been the weakest part of the team for the last 5 to 10 years, ever since their last Super Bowl run. And you look at just the overall roster, if you look at what Rodgers' cap hit was, which I believe is like in excess of like $35 million, compared to what Brady had when he was playing with the Patriots. Brady at most was getting paid somewhere in between about like 25, maybe like 28 million with the Patriots. And what I'm saying is that the money that the Patriots were able to save with Brady helping out the team build a better roster overall was the reason why that they were so competitive and in so many chances to win Super Bowls or to get to Super Bowls compared to the Packers. The Packers have had chances to get to the Super Bowl. They just have never been able to get there. And that's despite Aaron Rodgers really kind of carrying this team. It's just,
I think three or four NFC Championship appearances, and they're 0 for 4 since their Super Bowl run.
I mean, when you look at what happened last year, that was probably their best chance because Brady played really well in the first half, but played terrible in the second half and gave the Packers multiple chances to win that game. But Aaron Rodgers didn't come through. The year before, they get freaking spanked.
They also chose to kick a field goal, though. That's not his call.
Yeah, but he had a couple times to get into the end zone, and he missed some throws.
I'm not denying. I'm just saying it's a very big call right there. It's a very big decision that's above him, and that's
which is understandable. I get that. But even the year before, they go to the NFC Championship game, get absolutely spanked by the 49ers. And I think their last NFC Championship
49ers last year?
That was 2 years ago.
Oh, I was about to say, what are you talking about?
Well, it was
Jimmy G.
It was last year. It was in 2020. So, and then I think the last NFC Championship game that the Packers were in was against the Seahawks in 2014, the 2015 season.
Where the onside kick went array and the tight end dropped it and he got cut that off season.
Yep. So I won't blame this entirely on Aaron Rodgers. I think that would be unfair for me to say. But he deserves some blame here. Like, to what extent? I don't know what I would really blame it on. on him, maybe like 25%, maybe 30%. I wouldn't go like as far as like he deserves more than half the blame. I think that would be unfair to him because he's been playing outstanding. Last year he had an MVP season, and that was despite all the drama in drafting Jordan Love, and still went out there and threw like 45 touchdowns to like 5 interceptions. Like it was absolutely nuts what he was able to do. But I think this year he will be the day one starter. But I will say this. I don't know if he's going to finish his career in Green Bay. I think that is really kind of up in the air at this point. I'm not so certain about that because if Brady left after 20 years and didn't really necessarily deal with the problems that Aaron Rodgers is dealing with the Packers, I would think that Aaron Rodgers' time with the Packers is getting pretty limited at this point because I think they're eventually going to either go with Jordan Love or they're going to try to generate some sort of QB battle or some sort of QB competition. And not only that, I mean, they kind of exacerbated it with freaking signing Blake Bortles just today or the day before. So now you got...
I didn't even know they did that.
So now you got Aaron Rodgers, Jordan Love, and Blake Bortles on the roster at the quarterback spot. So I think it's just that the Packers are probably doing that just to build up depth at the position. I don't know why, but I will say this. I think his time with Green Bay is starting to dwindle, but I still believe he will be the day one starter this season.
So, I mean, my thoughts are a little bit different than yours. Again, I do agree that Aaron's cap hit does take a genuine effect on Green Bay's availability to bring in talent. However, I'm just going to circle on the same point that a lot of people already have. When you have a rookie head coach coming into a situation like LaFleur did, and their first decision with their first pick in that draft was to draft a quarterback, let's be blunt. That's a message from your new head coach saying, we're fucking watching, we're paying attention, and we're going to do what we want. We all know, like you said, the season before, they lost to the 49ers. So they're sitting there like, yo, we were this close to another Super Bowl appearance. We need more weapons. We need more help offensively. Drafting a backup quarterback just sends a message to a future Hall of Famer like, you guys do not value my talents. You guys do not value my opinion, our needs, what I feel that we need to do to improve or to get at least back to this particular situation that we just so barely missed. And you went and you drafted a quarterback. That rubs me the wrong way. Aaron Rodgers has been one of the most consistent and very well-performing quarterbacks that the NFL has ever seen, especially with his statistics that he has carried throughout his career. Mm-hmm. Obviously, replacing Brett Favre is no small feat, and those are some mighty shoes to fill, one of the greatest quarterbacks this game has ever seen. So when you gave Aaron the talent he needed, he produced, and he won you a Super Bowl. Now, over time, contracts needed to be signed, other people needed to be paid, people retired, and so on and so forth. So, it's really hard to keep championship teams together because it comes down to finances. Some people get ahead of themselves in contract negotiations. Some people want to chase a bag. Some people want to come back, but they don't have the money. The list really goes on and on. Keeping a championship team together might be one of the hardest things to do in sports, and that is across all sports because at the end of the day, it is a business. And like Kyle said, Aaron hasn't achieved that success since he won his first Super Bowl. And it has been quite difficult to pretty much achieve the promised land, which is to get there, let alone fucking win one. Mm-hmm. I do agree with Kyle with the percentages. Aaron not taking less money to bring more talent in for sure does make a very big difference. But when you have a brand new head coach that comes in there, to me, that came across arrogant. That came across like a chest move, like, yo, I'm the head coach. I'm doing what I want to do. Like he tried to flex, and then it backfired because obviously Aaron Rodgers went out there and won a fucking MVP. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like Aaron Rodgers went out there and threw for 45 touchdowns. Aaron Rodgers threw 3 touchdowns in the NFC Championship game. Like Aaron Rodgers did what the fuck Aaron Rodgers needed to do. Tom Brady played bad, and then you had LaFleur called the fucking field goal at that point in time. Granted, Aaron did miss a lot of opportunities in that game to go up. But when you have a quarterback that does, at the end of the day, put up statistical numbers like he does, you kind of have to look around. Like, outside of Devontae Adams, like you said, a lot of those players are better than what the Patriots had on their team while Tom was there. But if they're doubling Devontae or if they're focusing on Devontae and other people cannot create separation, which is exactly what happened in New England, can you really blame Aaron Rodgers for a lack of a call, a bad call, or receivers just genuinely not being open? You can't. I think Aaron has a lot more of a leg to stand on to me because he has publicly stated we need help. He has publicly stated Devontae needs help. He has said, hey, I think we need to do something different. And instead of wasting money or wasting a draft pick or wasting finances on the wrong players like Green Bay has over the last couple of years, I truly think they could be in a better place. I'm not saying they would have beat the Bucks. I'm not saying they would have beat the Seahawks. I'm just saying, or the 49ers. I'm just saying in general, when your quarterback is vocally saying, hey, I think we need to do something about this, and Green Bay continues to address other needs that aren't what your quarterback and your Hall of Fame quarterback, your MVP quarterback, your all fucking pro quarterback, your Super Bowl champion quarterback is saying, I think you should give him a little bit more of an ear to fall on or an ear to listen. He's not Daniel Jones. He's not fucking Derek Carr, who hasn't won anything. He is Aaron Rodgers, who has won 2 to 3 MVPs and a Super Bowl in his career. And I think that the GM needed to give him a little bit more of an ear to listen to. You know what I'm saying? I think that his opinion should have been taken into consideration a lot more than what it was. Like, again, I completely acknowledge his contract doesn't help. I completely acknowledge that it doesn't make it easier on a GM to go out and sign other people with less money or more money tied into him. But when you look at it in retrospect, if the GM continues to do what he's doing, why the fuck am I not going to take more money? Why the fuck am I not going to maximize the spend I'm getting? Like, you're not listening to me. Why am I going to care? Like, I'm doing what I need to do at the quarterback position. But at the end of the day, if we're missing chances because the receivers we have on this team that you brought in aren't producing, that's a you problem. I'm putting the ball on the spot. I have no turnovers, basically. We're winning games. We're in positions to win. And it's not happening. So, I mean, the Aaron Rodgers situation, like you said, it is very complicated. It is a little unique. He is leaning towards the Carson Palmer road of threatening to retire rather than giving them the satisfaction of playing for them. He's not at that pace yet where he's saying, trade me here or trade me there. He's kind of just saying, I don't want to be here as long as the GM is here, or, you kind of have to choose it's me or him. Mm-hmm. I don't know what Green Bay is going to do because that is literally a diva tantrum, and I don't know if Green Bay's GM is going to tolerate it. So I'm curious to see what ends up happening, but this game as it is, of both teams pretty much not knowing as of right this second who is going to start week 1, just leads me to believe this game could end up being a very unorganized clusterfuck, because we all know if Jameis starts, it could be turnover central for the fucking Saints. But if Taysom Hill starts, it could end up being a lot of freaking run-pass option plays that don't really go anywhere. And if Jordan Love starts for Green Bay, we all know that there were rumors circulating all offseason and all season that Jordan Love suffered from accuracy issues all year long in practice. So basically, it could end up being 2 quarterbacks throwing to the other team the entire game.
Or it could be Aaron Rodgers going up against Jameis Winston, who's filling in the shoes for Drew Brees after he retired.